So our first speaker is going to tell us about addiction and recovery. It's going to be 4 to 6 minutes long, and Greg Pittman is going to share us a moving story regarding addiction and recovery. Addiction and recovery, Mr. Greg Pittman.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, guests. Icebreaker, this is the icebreaker. When I think of icebreaker, I think of someone traversing across a tundra or frozen plain. They hear the crackle underneath them. By then it's too late. Poof! Into the abyss of cold and darkness, needing rescue and help. So that's analogous to my story of addiction. That doesn't serve me very well, though, if I'm conceptualizing that to give an icebreaker. So perhaps, how would we see this? Oh, we're going to break a big block of ice today, put it in our glasses with tea and drink, and we'll sit around and talk on this subject that's rather dark. It's a very real topic, and it affects our community, our society, our city, our country. And I don't think we need to scratch the surface of anyone long enough to find in their lives, either themselves affected by addiction, a family member, a co-worker, a neighbor, or just someone you see on the street driving through downtown, or really any part of San Antonio. So I'm 35 years old. I'm told I can play as young as 32. Very much. I'm a student at San Antonio College. I'm a musician. I'm a lover of the arts. I'm a chef de partie at a beautiful restaurant called 5 Points Local. I'm a proud uncle. I'm a nephew. I'm a brother. I'm a son. I'm a neighbor. I'm a decent co-worker. And I'm also in recovery. I'm an addict in recovery. So what that means to me is I haven't had a drink of alcohol or a drug in my body since October 10th of 2018. I realize that may not be a big deal. That's okay to some because we casually drink all the time. Marijuana is legal in most parts of the country now, and that'll continue to spread, I assume. Why is that a big deal to me? Well, since I was 18, very rapidly I have progressed from a, how would you say, a curious, naive experimenter to a substance user, an alcohol and drug abuser, and very, very rapidly to an addict, and from there to a full-blown chronic relapsing addict. All of the consequences that come with that, both personal and collateral. And when I say personal and collateral, I mean I've suffered and put myself through hell, is the best way to say that. My family as well, and my community. The state of Texas has funded me to be in 5 different times inpatient residential treatment centers. I've served medically assisted detoxes 6 to 7 times. I've been hospitalized, some by my own accord, some by law enforcement escort. I've done some counseling outside, again paid for by the state. I have been arrested 3 times. I've been in handcuffs triple that amount. In fact, last year this time I was serving time downtown San Antonio. Now here's the thing about wishing. I used to wish to live downtown my whole life. I didn't have any responsibility or action towards it. I never worked toward that game, but certainly I was arrested downtown in the top floor at a beautiful structure provided by the state. The view was terrible though. So, and we can laugh about it now. That's cool. This subject, it's dark. It gets morbid. It's not, there's times where it's hopeless. It's as hopeless as can be. And that's kind of the point, I think, to get to where we are now in recovery. So that sounds like a skewed, amoral resume. I'm very aware of that. But there is hope in all of that. I'm currently a student at San Antonio College. I'm educating myself and receiving a certificate for Licensed Chemical Dependency Counselor, LCDC. That should be completed in December. I hope to work at a treatment center or institution by January full-time. I'm also starting my practicum hours for SAC at a treatment center here downtown currently, and I volunteer as much as I can at San Antonio College by way of hanging out and seeing if they need any help there for their human resources department. So why me? Why now? Why Toastmasters? These are all good questions. I'm glad you asked. I would say why me? I couldn't possibly tell you the experiences I've had right now in depth. I can tell you they were as depressing, shameful, sad, and desolate, and hopeless as anything you could imagine at the moment. If you can picture looking your mother in the eye 6 years ago and telling her you relapsed after your first treatment center, and from then on it not getting better, it was something like that. It's akin to walking the desert by yourself, dying of thirst, no one around, and every mirage you see makes it worse, but you're certain that's the mirage you need to be at. And walking there 6 years or so, it's akin to that. So I did come to some conclusions during this last 6 months educating myself, and one of them was that honest, articulated speech on this subject could illuminate the topic and issue of addiction so much so that maybe we can talk about it more. Maybe there will be some more compassion on the subject. And maybe a voice can be had for those who aren't, I wouldn't say capable, but I would say they're preoccupied with recovery. That's good. More power to them. Great. I didn't come out completely unscathed. I have scars from wrist to elbow, some physical deformities, you can say, but my mental capacities are all there. And I feel a strong obligation and a sense of duty to speak on behalf of those afflicted by addiction and those with the courage and fortitude to continue on a journey of recovery. So in my coming speeches, I'll break down what I feel addiction has caused, again, personally, and the collateral consequences. That's the cost to the state, that's the cost to families, that's relationships, that's everything you can think of. The disease model for addiction works in that regard. It's a disease, sure, it's essentially a neurological hijacking and a neurological condition. It just has a myriad of consequences that range from financial to interpersonal relationships and so forth. So I do want to thank Toastmasters for accepting me and inviting me. Given my past, I joined, I would say, in May, and I was welcomed with applause and warmth and encouragement. So thank you for that. And I look forward to future speeches. Thank you very much, fellow Toastmasters.